Welcome to a case study of collaboration between bridge clubs in Suffolk during the 2020 lockdown. Those of you watching this from outside the UK may be wondering where Suffolk is. Suffolk is on the east coast of East Anglia. And the three clubs that I'm going to be talking about today, they're in Halesworth, in Leiston, and in Aldeburgh. The three clubs are similar in size, with between 50 and 60 members meeting once a week when allowed for a face-to-face duplicate with 6 or 7 tables. Many players are members of more than one club. Some are even members of all three clubs. So of the pool of players, there are probably 100 across the three clubs. So, welcome to Suffolk. Halesworth is the most independent of the three clubs, and it is not affiliated to the English Bridge Union nor to the Suffolk Contract Bridge Association. Heritage Coast, which meets in Leiston, is affiliated and prides itself on being a friendly club that isn't too competitive. And Aldeburgh is the oldest of the three clubs. It's the most serious in terms of bridge, and the standard of play is the highest at Aldeburgh. In March 2020, lockdown was announced in the UK and in many other countries across the world. And that brought with it a period of total social disruption. People's lives were turned upside down. It felt as if we were under house arrest. And there was an overwhelming sense of helplessness. But at the same time, lots of people realized that online bridge could provide a lot of solutions to the problems we were all facing. It enabled engagement, connection, socializing, routine. For many bridge players, their weekly session at their local club is the landmark of the week. And suddenly it wasn't possible anymore. So by organizing online bridge, we moved from a position of helplessness to a position of helpfulness. And we had a lot of fun. 3 of us decided we were going to give it a go. Dilys, Graham, and myself. And we were all 3 members of all 3 clubs. Now, looking back, it's hard to remember how chaotic the situation was, because today online bridge is very slick. But at the time, at the beginning of lockdown, we were all at sea. There was transition chaos. The online platforms were overwhelmed by players. They were at their capacity. Their servers were crashing. Their systems were overloaded. Their technical teams were working round the clock to sort out the problems and to increase capacity. Bridge Club Live temporarily suspended member registration, which is challenging for us because we were encouraging our members to join Bridge Club Live. Bridgebase Online suspended new tournament hosting rights and cancelled tournaments at short notice. And I mean short notice, they were cancelled the moment they were supposed to start. It was mayhem during March. We held our last face-to-face sessions at the end of the second week in March. By the 20th of March, we had registered Heritage Coast as an online club on Bridge Club Live. The County Association hosted the first Suffolk Pairs tournament on Bridgebase Online towards the end of the month. On the 24th, Bridgebase Online confirmed no new hosting, which was a setback for us because we had applied to host our own tournaments. Our application was rejected. On the 25th, we hosted our first online practice event in Bridge Club Live's social room. And on the 26th, UK lockdown officially began. Now, looking at this timeline, it all looks rather mannered, but at the time it was very hectic. We were frantically arranging practices and rehearsals and experimenting with very small groups and trying things out. We really didn't know which way to turn. We started with Bridge Club Live, and we then moved to Bridgebase Online. At the end of the month, we continued to work on Bridge Club Live, and we hosted our first teams of 4 session, which worked very well. And then at the very end of the month, we formally invited Aldborough and Halesworth to join the virtual club, although by that stage, many of their members were already playing in our virtual club. The consultation with the Suffolk Contract Bridge Association was ongoing through most of March, and their advice and guidance was indispensable. Now, we knew almost from the beginning that we were on the right track because we had lots of very positive feedback from our members. And this is just one example of many emails we had from Sue Johnson, who is a member of Heritage Coast and Aldborough, thanking us, saying how much she was enjoying it. It was a great learning curve. The more people, the merrier. Yes, of course, let's invite more clubs to join in, because we did consult. We said to our online players, how wide should we spread our net? And our players came back and said, yes, let's include the other clubs. The transferable skills that people were learning, suddenly they were useful in other parts of their lives, and people were looking forward to online play. So by April, we were making progress. A very significant breakthrough was when the EBU launched its Virtual Clubs initiative, and that meant we were able to apply for hosting rights on BBO. And the county provided us with BBO director training. This was a turning point. And by the end of April, we were holding events on Bridgebase Online. We were scoring them. And by the middle of May, our results were being scored for the national grading scheme. At the time, the 3 organisers, we felt that we had created a new entity. We felt actually the virtual club wasn't just one club. And we put it out to our members. We said, let's call the virtual club something different, something that better reflects the 3 clubs. But the feedback we had was that the players liked the name Heritage Coast. So we stuck with Heritage Coast. Okay, there were lots of ups and there were lots of downs. I'll start with the downs. We were limited initially by our lack of IT knowledge. We were all learning, and we were just half a step ahead of our members. Very steep learning curve. We learned quickly we had to provide training remotely using Zoom. That was a challenge in itself, to train our members to use Zoom. We realized very quickly we had to provide training in very small groups so we could share screens and talk our members through click by click what they were supposed to be doing. It was a period of experimentation. I've mentioned we started with Bridge Club Live, then we went to Bridgebase Online. It was trial and error. There was concerns about numbers and recruitment. Would there be enough players to justify having a tournament at all? And we were very concerned not to try the patience of our members by the constant experimentation. And we were worried also about the silent members, those who weren't engaging despite our best efforts. We rang them, we did all we could, but there were some people that just didn't want to engage. And we were working with a generation not known to be IT savvy. But of course, the ups. That was what kept us going. At times when we felt like giving up, our members were so grateful, they were so enthusiastic, they were so willing to be experimented on. Whenever we consulted, we had lots of feedback, so there was nothing that we did without the knowledge of our members. We had excellent training and support from the county. We had great teamwork, we pulled together. We all felt, members and organisers, that this was something really important we were doing. We maintained the club spirit. We were helping people learn transferable skills. Suddenly people, some of them in their mid-80s, were able to have Zoom calls with their friends and family. They were able to introduce their friends to online bridge. This is wonderful. We kept the club local, but at the same time, we were able to participate in county and national events because, of course, loading prepared deals for sim pairs, for example, is very easy using an online platform like Bridgebase Online. And so we were able to participate in as many sim pairs as we liked suddenly, and it was great fun. We were raising funds because we found that online play was lucrative, and we were attracting new members. And we were doing our bit and we were having fun. Then in the summer, last July, we were approached by a fourth club, Stratford St Mary, a long way from the other three clubs. And in fact, Stratford St Mary, they meet in Colchester to have their sessions. This is a collaboration that wouldn't have been possible in the real world of face-to-face bridge, but in the world of online bridge, geography is no obstacle. Stratford St Mary, a well-established club, a larger club. Interestingly, the standard of the members was quite similar to the standard of our members. We were very concerned. We didn't want our original members to feel outnumbered or to feel outplayed by people of a much higher standard. We offered Stratford St Mary a trial in August because we felt that possibly during the summer, our members might go away, our tournament numbers might drop, and we might not actually be able to hold a viable tournament if we didn't have enough players. The trial worked so well, it was extended indefinitely. So in preparing this presentation, I approached the four chairs, the chairs of the four clubs. I asked each of them to comment, and the comments more or less reflect the points I've raised in my presentation. Neil Brox was a chair of Heritage Coast at the time. Derek Anns in Halesworth. He spoke in a personal capacity. As I've said, Halesworth is a very independent club. And in Derek's view, collaboration is almost too strong a word for what happened. What we did was about cooperation. It was informal, it was local, it was pragmatic. We didn't need the county involved. We didn't need the EBU involved. It was just something we could just get on and do without any formal arrangements. Aldborough, Sue Cook is the chair of Aldborough and is also a member of Heritage Coast. And her quote reflects on the before and after, the fact that before COVID, contact between bridge clubs was very much on an ad hoc basis. So Heritage Coast, for example, if we did want to enter a sim pairs, we had to borrow the dealing machine from Aldborough to prepare the hands. And so it was that kind of collaboration. Aldborough willingly loaned us their dealing machine, but it was very much an ad hoc arrangement. But then, of course, with online bridge, everything changed and the doors were opened to a much wider collaboration. And other clubs also started to open their doors. And as Sue points out, we hope this collaboration continues and that there is a place for both face-to-face and online bridge in the future. Stratford St Mary, Paul Rickard is a chair there, and he reflects on the new positive relationships that have been formed, the benefits that smaller clubs had from the online, because of course on our own, we probably couldn't have mustered enough players to justify an online tournament. But of course, with more than one club, we had a critical mass of players. So I've been talking mainly about the positives of online bridge, but of course, some people have been left behind. We know the digital world is exclusive. We know lots of people don't like it, particularly the elderly. It takes them out of their comfort zone. And possibly a divide is emerging between onliners and offliners. And any future plans must cater for all members, whether they are local or remote, whether they're offliners or onliners. And that is the real challenge. So where next? Like many clubs, and now I'm speaking for Heritage Coast, we're carrying out a member survey, we're carrying out the risk assessments on returning to face-to-face play. We are managing expectations as best we can because we anticipate there is going to be another period of experimentation, particularly if we start to consider hybrid events where new technology is definitely going to be required. If we are, for example, to have face-to-face players playing the same set of cards as online players playing remotely. And already there's conversations about what technology we'll need and how possible and feasible this is going to be, but also there's going to be experimentation without any doubt. And possibly we'll be looking further down the line at one-off face-to-face events. So for example, we could have a get-together with our new friends from Stratford St Mary, perhaps once a year. But the name of the game is inclusion now. So coming to the end of my presentation, this is another photograph of the Suffolk Heritage Coast, which as you can see is made of sand and it slips away. There are cliff falls regularly and Suffolk is shrinking. And I think it's an interesting metaphor for the situation that bridge clubs found themselves in before lockdown. Our membership was shrinking. It was hard to recruit new members, and we were concerned that our bridge clubs might just fade away over time. But lockdown radically changed club bridge. Online play has breathed life into bridge clubs, and we can't put the clocks back now. But coming out of lockdown has its own challenges. This is a rapidly evolving situation, and we are all looking around to see what the other clubs are doing. But whatever we do, our next steps we need to take with great care. And now my final slide, local distinctiveness in an online world. Some pictures of the 4 wonderful places I've been talking about, Aldborough, Leiston, and that's a picture of the nuclear power station at Sizewell, which is the closest coastal village to Leiston, Halesworth, and Stratford St Mary. I really hope you have enjoyed the tour. Come and visit us. We shall welcome you to our bridge tables with open arms. And thank you for watching.